Welcome, guys, to another episode of Conquest Call-In Show. This one is the one we were expecting. This is great news to come off of a nice, huge victory in Las Vegas over Texas A&M. Just doing what we do as Trojans, beating the SEC. We have a habit of doing it. We have really winning records against everybody except for Alabama and Florida. And Florida's like 0-1-1, so that doesn't even count. But great news for SC ending the season on a high note, something that they were able to do last year, capitalize on that to get some recruiting momentum in the offseason. Hopefully they could go down the same path right now. But a lot of fans right after the game, and quite frankly, during the game, a lot of groaning. There were some concerns about some of the quarterback play. So we can get into that as well. Talk about the future of the quarterback position at USC. As far as Lincoln Riley is concerned, he is very close and to the idea of any kinds of changes. But we do want to hear what you guys have to say. Go ahead and give us a call, 888-997-4539. Again, this is a Conquest Call-In Show. It is really waiting for you guys to make phone calls. Let us know what's on your mind. I would like us to remember USC just won and beat the SEC. They're 2-0 against the SEC in 2024. The season did not go the way we want to in the Big Ten, but clearly, Preston, looks like it's easier to beat the SEC than it is to beat the Big Ten.
I know. I was saying that in my video. I'm like, man, should USC just join the SEC? We're undefeated. Had a great time against the SEC this year. But yeah, man, awesome to get a victory. Good momentum to end the season. Sometimes season kind of felt like we were in hell or purgatory this year, but ended on a great note. Fantastic, but lots of questions, man. Lots of questions, lots to discuss about, quarterback play and, what we may do going forward with that. So, interested to see how people feel about where we're at as a program.
Yeah, if you've been watching our show, we've talked about it quite often. I mean, I do believe that at quarterback, Jade Mayava has all of the tools. I had concerns about poise. I had concerns about pre-snap reads. And really just going through his progression and reads in general. I'll say it really quickly again, so no one's getting this mixed up at all. He is still relatively a young quarterback. He was asked to come in the kind of the reliever role, Preston, where the first half of the season, he's not getting those first team reps. People don't realize that for 9 games, it was Miller Moss's show. He's asked to come in basically late in the third quarter and then take over for a quarterback and the quarterback play at USC, which is not an easy thing to do. Remember also that you had Miller Moss, who had 3 years under Lincoln Riley, basically, right, and a fourth offseason under Lincoln Riley. So you're looking at a situation where Jaden came in, but there are some concerns. Again, it goes back to going to UNLV days. I do have some concerns about the poise, but when does that poise come? That comes with experience. That comes with reps. That comes with time. So hopefully that can be sorted out in the offseason. But really, what I saw in that bowl game was I talked to Gabe over at Trojan Blade about it. It's kind of what I expected to see. That USC would probably win in spite of quarterback play, and I don't think I could have scripted any better. It is very important to point out that he did pull it together in the fourth quarter to lead SC to the victory, but there are some head scratchers and some concerns in the fan base, and that's why I put that topic up there. But listen, it's your show, you guys. Let's talk whatever you want. Let's celebrate this win. There's a lot to talk about. The young faces out there, some of the old heads out there. You guys saw a lot of good stuff that really reminds me of those old gritty SC teams. Some really tough running from a young Brian Jackson, and then again you had wily veterans like Kyle Ford sealing this game for us. So lots to talk about. You ready to get started, Preston?
Yeah, and I just want to say I want to say a couple things about Mayava before we get started. Right, this is how I view the Mayava quarterback situation. Mayava, I think it's fair to say we saw, and it's hard to say this, but I think it's the truth. Even though we won the game, I think we saw the worst performance he's had this year in a USC Trojan uniform. Would you agree with that, Tim? Probably.
Yeah. Quarterback play was until the very end was
pretty bad.
Some of the worst I've seen in a long time. Yeah,
pretty bad. Yeah. But we still won the game, which I think is a plus. Is a positive thing that in his worst performance of the year, we win the game. Mayava currently, if you look at the sample size, averaging an interception and a half a game, very similar to what Miller Moss did this year, playing in 9 games, averaging a pick a game. Can he fix it? That is the question, right? That's where I'm sitting, right? I come into it right now being pretty open to a quarterback competition with him and Hussein Longstreet coming into the fall. And, just betting that he can improve, use the experience that he had in these 4 games to improve as a quarterback, get, the reads right, get the footwork right, become a little less antsy in those situations. Also, was going back home to UNLV. There's got to be some jitters there. There's got to be some jitters being back in Vegas, in a big bowl game situation. But did a pretty good job. The offense was averaging, 29 points a game while he was in there at quarterback for USC. So it's an interesting thing because I thought there was things that we saw in this game that we didn't see in the previous 3 in terms of negatives. I just thought the ball placement, some of the decision making is things that I didn't really see in his first 3 showings. So just hopefully he can get that fixed. I personally don't feel like there's quarterbacks available that I would select over him in the portal currently. And I'm sure we'll talk about that as the show goes on. But it's gonna be interesting to see where we go with the quarterback at USC.
Yeah, for sure. And we got an hour to do it, guys. So get on here at 888-997-4539. Also, thank you to all of the members of the channel. Thank you so much. I did notice that Paulie Walnuts is now a premium member of the channel. Thank you so much for not only making my week every week, I wonder if Paulie's calling in this week, but also being a big time member. And thanks you to all you guys. I could speak for Preston. We are really grateful you guys are here. It's late on a Sunday night. Some of you guys, unfortunately, are working tomorrow, but you're here to talk your Trojans with us. We thank you all for being here. If you could hit that like button to support us and subscribe. Why aren't you subscribed? It doesn't cost you anything. And when we go live, appreciate everybody being here. Speaking of appreciating, hi caller, appreciate you calling in. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, man? This is Brian from Birmingham, Alabama. How you doing?
Brian, going good. How are you doing? Great win, right?
So, yeah, great win, man. I think what a lot of people are missing out on the most is, and you may have mentioned it earlier in the show, but I know it's been mentioned on another podcast that we beat 2 SEC teams this year. That's going to go well for the portal and for recruiting. So, my recruiting pitch to any kid that's looking at leaving Cali, why go down to the SEC to play when, we've been proven to beat SEC teams on a regular. So that's great. But going back to the theme of the show, or the topic of the show, I think Maava had a rough start, but he definitely, pulled his own end of the weight towards the end of the game and made some big time throws. Now, I do believe that we need to get an insurance policy out of the portal because if something, unfortunately, if something happens to Maava during the season, or if he hits another bad slump, we don't want to hinge the entire season on a true freshman. So I do think we need some form of insurance policy, not only for the competition part of it, but for in case something happens to him.
Yeah, because people got to remember we're losing Jake Jensen. So we obviously lost Miller Moss, but we're also losing Jake Jensen, who is kind of the piece I think that Brian's talking about currently. And so you don't want to go in with basically 2 scholarship quarterbacks, and then because let's face it, I think both quarterbacks will be asked to run. And in a physical conference like the Big Ten, you get out in space. Sure, if you slide quick enough, fine. But these guys are going to take their lumps. You do have to be cautious and wary of that. Very great point, Preston. Yeah. I think that might be a good time to maybe talk about some of the options they have at quarterback. I know that Riley, just even the press conference after the game, man, we were in there. We're all looking at each other. It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We're in that press conference waiting, but it was worthwhile because we at the very end we got Mekhi Lemon at the very end, which was nice. But Riley was pretty adamant, and he has been kind of consistent about the fact that yes, they are looking for a quarterback, but more of a quarterback in that support role, Preston.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be great to get somebody out of the portal with experience, somebody that's been in college football for 2 or 3 years that that could fill that void, and have some experience if Maava goes down, God forbid, or some situation happens where he's not getting it done, that you have somebody with at least some college experience to step in there and get the job done.
Yeah, and so I think they're looking somewhere to the FCS for some answers, Brian, and to go with it. So you got the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State quarterback. He'll have 1 year to play. And in talking to Gabe, he says a lot of his play reminds him of think about a Bo Nix kind of situation. You don't have that guy who's like, he's not the super dual threat, gonna Lamar Jackson, Caleb Williams all the time, but he has that ability to get up, and get out down the field when he needs to. Maybe not the cannon arm. Not many guys have an arm like Jaden Maiyava. That's what has got us salivating about his upside. But he can make the throws. He would be drafted. I'm sure he's probably going to play in the game to see where am I going to get drafted. I'm sure he's probably looking for some NFL grades right now. But if he was available, there has been some. It does look like you have Heward, the quarterback coach, following. They're following each other on Twitter. Obviously, that doesn't mean much, but it's kind of kicking the tire on the situation. But how open would you guys to be, bringing in an FCS guy, a guy that plays the highest level? The Jackrabbits are one of the premier teams in the FCS. Any initial thoughts on him?
I don't know what his measurables are. What's his height and his weight?
6'3". He's a big guy. 6'3", 230. By the way, thank you to Gabe for putting together this card. 6'3", 230. Okay. So he's quarterback size.
And he's got 1 year left.
Got 1 year left. That's an important part about you. You know what I mean? You there's a very delicate balance that you have going on with the. You can see it kind of lined up, with Lions on the horizon, and then and obviously Longstreet coming and keeping him happy. So you do the old days of stacking quarterback rooms, unless you're Ohio State, apparently, seem like they've gone away. But I'm just curious what you guys think about that possibility.
Yeah,
I think, go ahead, Preston.
Yeah, Preston.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like a guy that can do a little bit of running, solid quarterback in the pocket as well, deliver the ball and, kind of work around in this Lincoln Riley offense. That may be a great fit, right? And also somebody that has tons of experience. Obviously, it's a different level, being FCS and whatnot. But regardless, this might be a good candidate for sure.
Yeah, the question is going to be how fast can you bring him up to speed? You understand what I'm saying? With that, I don't know, if we know the competition is not going to be the equivalent. So is it another situation to where, he's going to need a 4 year like Jaden Maiyava just to catch up to the speed at this level? We don't know that for sure. So ideally, you want to get someone who has somewhat of experience playing at, at that level, at the FBS level. That's what I would think.
Yeah, good, very good point. But this guy is being talked about as a legitimate NFL possibility. And I hear you. Like we talked about the speed going from high school to college, but I mean, there is obviously a difference between maybe even going from a group of 5 to playing in a power conference. Just the quality of play, the right. Speed and the quickness of the secondary. The schemes get a little more complicated, a little more complex, and so right. Those windows do shrink a bit. But I think either way, I'm just going to flat out say it. It seems like both, like Jaden still doesn't have a complete control of what's going on as far as at USC, what we've seen so far in the Big Ten. So this would be a situation where they're both going to have an off season again. This would be Jaden's second off season with Lincoln. The thing that Gronowski has is that he's been around now. He's long in the tooth. So this guy is a veteran quarterback coming in, and I totally agree with you as far as competition. But he did play. He played. I think he played Iowa State. I'm not too sure, but that his offense put up 20 points. Okay. So I mean, it's not like that he's faced exclusively FCS defenses. Mm-hmm. But and remember, I mean, he's playing North Dakota State. I'm not saying that these are on the same level as playing a Penn State defense, playing an LSU or a Texas A&M defense, playing Michigan defenses. But these defenses, in college football, it's not like we're asking him to jump up to the NFL levels. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think with an offseason with Lincoln Riley, I think that raw talent might be something to take a look at and kick the tires on.
Yeah, can I touch on one more thing too?
Absolutely.
With regards to the receivers that we lost in the portal.
Yeah.
And I made mention to it a couple shows ago when I talked about with the decrease in plays that we're experiencing going from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, that you didn't need 4 top receivers like that. So yesterday we saw a situation to where less is actually better, and by us keeping the better of the 4 receivers with Lemon and Lane, you saw a more consistency with regards to them getting the ball, the run after the catch. I think Maava, once he settled in, they were able to get into a better groove, for play calling, especially with Lane. Riley was able to do some different things with Lane that he had been trying to do with Branch that wasn't quite working, but you saw with Lane coming in there, seeing something different, showing the defense something different, but keeping the 2 main receivers. I think that was very important, and we were able to play off of the run with that. If you notice, the running backs were able, even from a running perspective, they were able to get 5-6 yards a pop. So I think yesterday we saw a case to where, and I think Riley's going to take this model, on with him, as we progress into the Big Ten, where you see less is actually better. I don't know. Maybe you guys saw something different.
No, I mean, I think we're on the same page. I've been talking for weeks. Well, as soon as we found out that we were losing Branch, I just said this. Deuce Robinson and Zachariah Branch are NFL quality athletes, and they're trying. This is their money year, right? This is their contract year next year for all those guys that came in, that Fab Four that came in. They're going to need to get those targets, and they weren't going to get them here. But you also remember is USC has roster management with our young guys as well. I mean, USC has that great bumper. They're going to be going to be juniors next year. But you got young Corey Sims coming in. I mean, I'm telling you, I see him as kind of playing that Deuce Robinson role. We had Mekhi Lemon, who's kind of that Zachariah Branch role. So that there were some redundancies on here, and that's not even talking about Xavier Jordan, Tanook Hines, and Romero Eisen, who again, and then you have Fair coming back. It's not like we don't have the dudes. I think we're gonna be okay, but like you said, like I've said, and I've heard Preston say, yes, it was a tight room. And I even asked that question. I think I asked Mekhi Lemon after the game about, just talk to us about, Coach Simmons, because I don't think people realize how tough it is to keep that many egos and those guys that were just the top, forget being the best guy on their team. They're like the best guy in their league. They might be the best guy in their state. And you have they have all in the same quarterback room. And for Coach Simmons to keep everybody happy and smiling and loose. And that was one of the happier position rooms that they have. They all loved each other. So in order to do that, it's got to be great coaching. And I think this is just another evolution of what has to happen on these new rosters. Don't get attached to people. I'm a big Deuce Robinson fan. I love Zach Branch. Is like one of the greatest young men I've ever met. Had the pleasure of meeting on an SC team. Just a wonderful, beautiful human being. But it just has to happen. And I think there were redundancies, and I think that's why. I think with Corey Sims, and I think the young guys we're bringing in along with Lemon, I think it's a lot of redundancies, even though they have special talents. They got to go do what's best for them, Preston.
Yeah. And I loved what they did with the wide receiver rotation. I love the routes they were running, and allowing Jacoby Lane to get the ball a little closer to the line of scrimmage and get him out of space and do his thing. And it was great, man. I think, like I said before, I think we kept the best 2 receivers out of that group, and just happy to see him blossom and hope it continues.
And I'm gonna toot my own horn here. If you guys, you long-term listeners, I said to you guys at the beginning of the season, we were doing our predictions. I said, well, you're going to have Mekhi Lemon. He's going to lead the team in catches and yards. He led the team in catches and yards. And then you got this guy, Jacoby Lane. He's going to lead the team in touchdowns. I mean, he got half of them in the last 2 games, but he ended up with 12. Right. And so, I mean, it was, the writing was there. There's no slight on Deuce and no slight on Zachariah. Zachariah he's just not really, as far as what he showed at USC, to be that wide receiver one. He's an incredible athlete, but he doesn't have what I saw in Lemon going back to his days at Los Alamitos. So I've been on the Lemon train longer than anybody that I know, and I'm really excited to see what he could do next year. I think everyone in the media is saying it, and I completely agree with them. Those two for your wide receiver one and wide receiver two are 1A and 1B. It does not get better than that. There might be some people that compete and we have a conversation about it, but there will not be many teams out there that will have two receivers at that level, Brian, that we're going to have. So it'll be interesting to see.
Right. And you have to remember, like I said before, when Riley was recruiting these kids, he was recruiting for an 80 to 90 play, game in the Pac-12. Well, things are different now. And you're absolutely correct. You can't have any type in this day and age of NIL and the portal if things doesn't change. If we stay the course as it is now, you can't. It wouldn't be wise. I don't tell people what they can't do, but it wouldn't be wise to develop any type of emotional attachment to these kids playing the program, because it could change in a heartbeat. One receiver feel like he's not getting enough touches, he's going to jump in the portal. One feels like he should be paid more, they're going to jump in the portal. And since, they determine their own value, we can't say whether or not, they're wrong for, expecting something different, more plays, more touches, more money. We can't say this. So it wouldn't be wise to develop any type of emotional attachment to these kids.
Yeah.
Because right now they're professionals. They're professionals. And, unfortunately, when, college football is is a free agency market now.
Yeah. And Lincoln Riley, you did a great job, but in not so much many words, that's pretty much what Lincoln Riley said after practice to us. So that also is the fact. Right. And take a step further, Brian, I'm with you. Let's act like adults. When we lose these young men and they're going out to do something better for themselves, we all get about that emotional attachment thing, Remember how excited we were to beg them and grown men pleading with 17-year-olds to come to USC? Let's have that same, well, I guess you can that same dignity. Let's have more dignity when these young men need to go do what's best for themselves as well. So yeah, great call. Fight it, guys. Fight it. Thank you, Brian. Amazing call, dude. Always brings it, Brian. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, thanks. Great call. Just
that's the truth.
Excellent points.
It's hard, Brian, though. It's hard not to get attached, but I'm getting better.
Yeah, right? It is difficult. Hey, look, we're all human. We're all human. And
we have these grand presentations, CGI with, swords and castles. And it's like, oh, this guy's a part of the team. It's tough, man. It's tough.
I have to be careful because I got to keep it a little more. I wish I could be like you and Gabe and really just lay it all out, and Carter just like, but I got to pull it back. I got to pull the fan card back a little bit when I'm talking and writing. But it's there. You know what I mean? We get excited. These guys come in and I do. I actually am kind of bummed out. I said this to Coach Dog. If you guys know who he is. I said, hey, the record, I'm not happy with the record, but I love this team. Yeah. This is really the first year I got to actually follow the team, and cover the team closely. And there's some great Trojans. You saw it in the fight the whole season. You saw the way these guys play. That's what it means. That's really what it means to be a Trojan. And even the Trojans that are leaving, they left with class, and they're great guys. And I couldn't be more proud. I'm a Trojan. I'm proud to be a Trojan. So these guys make us even more. Caller, hang on 1 second. We'll get to you 1 second. Gigster Squid, super long time OG follower of the channel. So basically, USC estimate of 10 to 12 million NIL beat both LSU, estimated 600 plus million NIL, and Texas A&M estimate 800 plus million NIL. Fight on. Or I think that's tongue in cheek because I know we all can't play in the SEC. It does mean more over there, but we just score more here, right? It means more over there, but we score more over here. So I guess that's why these games are going USC's way. Gigster, thank you so much for the super chat and the comment. Sorry, I'm a bit okay. So it was a long drive. Yes, I did drive to Vegas. Never again, by the way, never again. But it was a long weekend. And I always tell myself that, and then I'll fly a couple of, you know what? It takes us long just to drive. I'm just going to drive out there. And every time the drive up there is not a bad deal. And winning like we did against LSU and against Texas A&M are great. But when we lost to Utah, when Caleb got hurt, my brother and I, we were going to stay. I looked at him, he looked at me, and we're like, let's just go home. Like, we didn't even stay in Vegas. We just drove through the night and drove home because we didn't want to gamble. We didn't want to hang out. We just wanted to get out of. So good to get a win. Hi, caller. Sorry to keep you waiting. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Tim? It's Suka.
Suka, how you doing? What happened to you last week? We were here and then you disappeared. We know what happened to you.
Man, listen, man, I'm a full-time father, brother.
I know how it works. I know.
Full-time father, full-time business owner, man. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I can't. But listen, man, I want to just comment on what you were saying, man, about Jaden, man. You know, he improved a little bit. I like him down the end. I like the poise he showed down at the end. I really like the poise he showed down at the end. But
True.
I think we, looking at the quarter, was really nobody to me that we can actually bring in that. You know what I'm saying? When I looked, everybody was like committed to other places unless they just going to decommit. There's a couple of good people out there that we need somebody else, man. We got to push this room. We need somebody else to come in and push this room and push it to the max to get everything out of him. You know what I'm saying? If you really going to give it to Longstreet, let Longstreet really go out there and compete and let him push the line. You know what I'm saying? We got to have that competition because if he thinks he's cool where he's at right now, we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? He needs to learn how to see the field better. He has, like you said earlier, Tim, he has all the tools. He has all the tools to compete. He has all the tools to do it. He can make the throws. But I don't understand a 6'5" dude, 6'3" dude, he's still throwing down like he's 5'11".
Yeah.
You know, those are things he has to work on.
Yeah, you know, hold that thought really quick and we'll come back. I want to get Preston's thought and your thought on this. It's been a problem this year. So again, Miller's a lot shorter than Jaden, but there doesn't seem like there's a lot of passing lanes, right? We're talking about the improvement on the offensive line, but a lot of balls are batted. Let's face it; those guys are waiting, and they're just batting balls down. It's a constant thing. And even with that extra 3 inches that in height that Jaden has, it just seems like still a lot of balls are getting batted down. Now, part of that could be it's just your eye, your eye candy. You give some eye candy left and right to try to, keep the linemen honest and linebackers honest. But it does seem like a lot of balls get batted down, especially on like those shallow crossers. When they're running the stuff underneath any kind of mesh concept. So, Preston, what are your thoughts? I mean, have you been noticing the same thing?
Well, yeah, I'm noticing the same thing. I mean, I think at times in that game, especially early on, it kind of looked like he didn't know he had legs. Like his movement within the pocket wasn't what I had seen in the past. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. So, like I said, I don't know if he was just like in the headlights against Texas A&M or whatnot, but he's got to be more mobile, at least within the pocket. And obviously, we like to see him get out of the pocket and use his legs as well. But he's gonna have to improve on that.
Yeah, Suka, what do you think? But yeah, maybe that was by design. I know, I mean, maybe they wanted to simplify things, sit in the pocket, look for what's over the middle, because obviously was something that they were. There's no mystery. It seemed like everything was going outside, and in this game, it looked like there was a concerted effort to try to open up the middle of the field because they were taking away, the sidelines and the fade routes and the deep stuff. So, Suka, your thoughts?
Me personally, man, I think this is the time. Don't let him rest too much. Let him have a break, man, and get on the basic fundamentals. He needs to know. He needs better footwork for one. He has to have better footwork, and he has to learn how to control the pocket. Then he has to quit being scared to run on certain things. Certain things he could have pulled that down and took 10, 15 yards. But it's just the hesitancy when he's playing that position. He has to be more cerebral to me. You got to be able to see the field. You have to be able to check down. You got to be able to look around. Your footwork has to be better. And Riley needs to take time with him and help build his confidence. Get in that room and show him film work. Show him how to go through actually listen. I know we threw you into the fire, but now we out the fire. So we have this time. Take a look. This is how you see the field. This is your progression. This is where you need to know. This is a mark right here. And this is where you get on the page with the receivers. You got two of the best in the game with you. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be the leader. If you're going to be the number one guy, be the leader. Start talking to these offensive linemen. Start kicking them in their butts, man. Do what Tom Brady did. You know what I'm saying? Do what Peyton Manning, get in their butts, man. Y'all need to hold up. Because the line was a little shaky, then they started holding it down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this and I'm done. I love the new Lindell White.
Brian Jackson, yep.
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna give Jaden.
Say go ahead, Preston. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on young Brian Jackson. I mean, fans were again. I've been waiting to see him. The spring game we saw what a load he is and how he hits the hard hole. But let me just want to hear your thoughts real quick. I'll go grab something.
Yeah, man, spitting image at times with him running the ball, man, of Lindo White. Just did a great job. A guy that, you know, has the power and has a little bit of wiggle to him as well. Like, I think he went east to west pretty well. I think, you know, he was able to get upfield and, you know, make it through some arm tackles and whatnot. So Brian Jackson, you know, we talk about Eli Sanders coming in next year, or whether it's Amarion Peterson and him back there. Nonetheless, whatever the combination is, I'm confident in the running game, right? I think our offensive linemen excel. Even the new ones that we've got in here with Killian O'Connor at the center position, if he stays there, I think it's going to be interesting what happens with that right tackle spot. I don't know the information on Elijah Page, how serious that injury is or whatnot. So I would like to see Justin Taunu maybe pop out at that right tackle position. I think he did a great job at the left tackle position. And with those running backs and the offensive line, the way they performed the other day, they surprised me, especially at the center spot. I think he did a pretty good job. So, yeah, interested to see how those guys perform moving forward.
Yeah, again, don't want to sound like that guy, but I have to do it. I've been really big on that class, on that 2023 offensive line class. People have been you know, Coach Henson's been taking strays from everybody for 2 years now. And some of it's, you know, I guess it's understandable. Some of the kind of shuffling around that happened last year and some of these going on maybe with the recruiting, but how much of that recruiting was NIL? How much of that was actually the recruitment and chops that he has? But I like it, you know, picking up recruits like Aaron Dunn, right? Young guy is going to be, and then man, Alex Payne. I mean, you talk about a guy who looks like he could almost be ready to push people his freshman year. He might be able to just do just that. But Tobias Raymond, what we saw from Tobias Raymond, we know about Elijah Page, and then like you said, with Justin coming in and filling in on the spot like that, that was top notch.
He was solid,
you know.
Man.
And so again, I'm sorry, because I took a lot of crap for it. So now you know you get a lot of crap for something, and then you look like you're a crazy man standing on the corner screaming at clouds. That was me, apparently, to some people, but. I'm gonna take a little bit of vindication on this. The fact that it seemed like Josh Henson kind of knew what he was doing. Now he's also the offensive coordinator over at Purdue. So, yeah.
I tell you this about the defense. I'm proud of the defense, but I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to, you know what I'm saying, and D'Antoni having what he needs.
Yeah.
Some space either so he can actually do things around. So he can actually do his work. I like the two big boys coming in. I like what we have. I like the young cats now. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking we're gonna be nice next year on defense.
We're going from
nice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was gonna say we're going from the zero technique being like a place you know, where there wasn't a lot of depth, where you could probably as an offense try to key in on, to making it like you said. You referenced we got Silver coming in, and we got Jarrett coming in, right? Two like bodies that are true, you know, zero technique bodies. But then also we're gonna have some of that, you know what I mean? That speed. Not that we didn't have it, but like G-Day played really well in the game. I like the way I love what I've been seeing from Devin Tompkins for a while. You know, Lucas is coming back on the outside. Braylon Shelby looked great as well. Young Cam Fountain, that's everyone keeps talking about. I mean, this defensive line, and there's guys we haven't seen. You know, the Gus bus hasn't got going yet, right? I mean, Gus Cordova. Yeah. I'm interested that I think he's probably one of those criminally underrated players that we have on our team. It's and I still, oh my god. So I was there on the field standing next to Ratmana Bulabalavu, and I felt like I was a little child next to him. I mean, these are the guys that we have now on that defensive interior, you guys. And they all look athletic. They're not just big, you know. I would say there's a couple of guys we named. I don't want to do that because it's not fair. There's a couple of big space eaters we're going to have, but you need that. You know what I mean? You need that guy who's, yep, I'm just going to take this gap. You guys, linebackers, come on up and fill this other stuff on the side, but nobody's getting through here. I'm just going to be sitting right here. I'm going to park right here. And we got guys that immovable, object. They'll be sitting there right in the middle, plugging up offenses, which is something I think we have not had, which I'm excited to see.
I'm glad Muhammad is out of here. I'm glad he's gone.
You know what? Can I say?
Let's be real.
I will be real, but here's the thing. Sometimes you need those guys that don't totally screw up. as opposed to the guy that's going to make this huge flash play. We have young guys that I've watched make some incredible plays, and the next minute you go, oh, and there's a guy running for 20 yards. The thing that I saw, the one thing I've appreciated for 2 years with Jamil is that, yes, that does happen, but that happens to anybody. You know, you got Hall of Famers, Pro Bowlers that happens to. But I think his bad plays weren't as painful as some of their bad plays, if that makes sense, Suka.
I got you. And I see Gentry didn't really do much. You know what I'm saying? He was really light on his feet, you know, in a sense that we're thinking he's going to come back and just wreck shop like he did. But what I'm talking about, Jaleel, he was just out of place on too many plays for me. You know, he was actually getting pushed out. You know what I'm saying? And turned in. I see how the quarterback, when he was doing when he was actually doing the option, had this dude turning around every which way. You know, but that's neither here nor there. Like you said, even the best go at it. But I just want to see these dudes showed a little heart. They showed the zeal. They showed the grit. That's what I've been waiting to see. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't give up. And I like that about Jaden. He didn't give up. And I kudos to him, man. Props to him. He didn't give up. He came down. He showed poise at the end. And that's what we need. But we need you to start looking over the line and seeing people. Stop looking at the top of the lineman heads and look. And you 6'3", 6'4", whatever tall you are, get that ball down the field, man. And quit being scary. Because if you ever get in your mind that you are dangerous and that I can get your feet together, you're gonna be something to deal with, man. The Big Ten ain't gonna be ready for you.
So everybody's celebrating Sam Darnold this year. Sam Darnold's had his trouble seeing the field. Some, maybe thinking his arm's a little bigger than it is. You know, and people have to remember that Jaden's not he's a young man. He's not, young. He's not green, but he's not like experienced. You know what I mean? It's not like he's a veteran. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So people have to like pull back a bit on that. But there are concerns because we're just, it's the nature of the quarterback position. It's why it's the most important position. And it kind of goes into, it's not as much the big flash bang plays like the 70-yard touchdown throws, the 60 yards in the air throws that, on a rope that some guys can make. It's not that. It's, are you taking care of the ball? Are you managing the game? Are you putting, like I said, the entire year when people are saying, Jaden Mayava should be in there. What's Riley doing? He's an idiot, blah, blah. I said, Riley is putting the guy in who places his team in the best position to win the game. I'm not at practice, but I just kept saying that because I just felt it was a bit, I don't know. It's not, I think ignorance is too harsh, but I think it's disingenuous to say we know who the quarterback should be when we're not watching any practices, that makes no football sense to me at all. It just doesn't. I'm just. I be winning the Heisman.
You know what I'm saying? So I give it to Riley. I've been hard on him, but I'm gonna stay riding on him. But for the simple fact that you know what, I understand. I take this because Riley, you got the guy in there. This dude, he's green to me. Listen, because he hasn't been in the system of a full season. So I got to give him a pass. I got to start extending grace to this guy. You know what I'm saying? And we shouldn't damage him before. Give him some time. You know what I'm saying? Give him some time. We'll see what he's learned. We'll see what he's learned in the spring ball. We'll see if he really takes the time and he really picks this dude. Because if you want to be a quarterback, go pick this dude's head. How did you get them there? What can I do? Be hard on me. You know what I'm saying? Be hard. Be hard on me. Show me where I made a mistake at. Show me where I faltered at, because I want to be one of the best. I don't want to say I went to USC and I couldn't make it. When you come here, you know what I'm saying? Be on this guy. You know what I'm saying? And I believe he should put the extra work in. Put it in, dog. So when you come back next year, you're gonna check all the boxes. You're gonna make all the throws. You're gonna make the reads. You're not gonna be scared to run. You're not gonna be scared to lead. You're gonna lead by example because you're out there. You put in the work. And I'm giving you the grace right now. Do it. I appreciate y'all, man.
No, great call, Suka, as always. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
See, that's why I was so upset when you left. I mean, I know you got to do dad things, but if I had to answer the door, I thought it was the Amazon, but it's my kid decided to lock himself out, so I'm going downstairs to let him in. So I know how it is with the whole family thing. But thank you, Suka. Appreciate you calling in, man. Brought it as always. Great call. And I know this guy. I know this guy right here, and I'm trying to talk him into having his own talk show, Preston. I don't know if you know that, but
you should.
Paulie Walnuts, sir, how are you doing?
Gentlemen, happy Sunday. This is the highlight this is what gets me fired up for Mondays. An SC win and talking to my two favorite guys on television, folks. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I enjoy every second of it. But let me get to Mr. Mayava here. I'll make it quick. I don't want to hold people up on the line or potential new callers. I want them to get frustrated and hang up. But let's get to the Mr. Mayava right away, man. I'm going to go ahead and speed right through this for you guys. But listen, Jaden, to me, I've always been a big fan of this young man. You know this from the very beginning. I've always been supportive of him, and I'm still going to continue to support Jaden. I told you from the very beginning, guys, there's a lot of Brett Favre. I don't mean in talent, being equivalent to Brett Favre. I mean the inexperience. He's like a wild stallion out there, man, and he's going to need someone to corral him up a little bit and kind of settle him down. I can tell you right now, you look at that strong arm, and one thing Jaden has that a lot of people don't have, and I don't care if they're 5 stars, 10 stars, 6 stars, they don't have what Jaden has, and that is that moxie and those guts, man, the guts to take it down the field with limited time and put his team in a position to win. And on top of that, these guys weren't Jaden's guys. All of these players, they were all with Miller Moss. That was their boy. And for every reason that was Miller's team. And Jaden came in a tough situation, trying to win these guys over. And you know what? Now he has a whole complete off season. You know, some guys have departed, and now I think with the guys that are here, you see what's going to happen when it comes to the future potential of this offense. I've said it before: less is better, and we're going to be more explosive. I said that on this show, and you got a little taste of that when you see the way that he's able to spread the ball around. Not only is that going to help our wide receivers, because watch out, folks. Put your seatbelts on for the Alpha and the Omega, man. Mr. Lemon starting it and Mr. Lane finishing it. That's what I'm talking about. Get ready, America. You're talking about 2 potential All-Americans here. And on top of that, it's going to open up everything for our tight end room. But getting back to Jaden has a lot. Nothing was ever given to this young man. Nothing. If you look at his old tape of him training out there in Hawaii on those dirt fields out there, throwing to his brothers, I mean, come on. This guy didn't have the luxury of going to Jordan Palmer's quarterback camp since he was in 7th grade. This kid has been doing it the rough way, probably tossing who knows what out on the beach, beer cans to his uncles. Who knows what he was doing out there? But whatever he did, it's all raw and God-given ability. And if Lincoln believes in him, and I hear also when Mekhi Lemon believes in him, and I hear Kyle Ford, who I love, one of my favorite all-time Trojans, vouch for this young man, then you know what, dude, I'm all in. And I'm going to believe in him until it's not there. And as far as Hussam goes, I think what better person to go up against in practice every day than a guy like Jaden, who, like I said, he's not a spoiled kid. Nothing's been given to him, and everything's going to work out, man. And when it comes to let's get to some other positives here. Just like the pot roast I ate earlier today, the old school pot roast. That's where our running game. Oh, it's so nice to see that old school running game, man. Dean Jackson and those guys. And wait for Sanders to come on. You're going to get the snap, crackle, and pop, man. The power, the jiggle, the speed, all of it. And I'm loving it, man. I see so much potential in these young guys. And I hear everyone flipping out. When Joyner left, I mean, God, the sky was falling, man. Everybody thought, but you know what? You have to. As a Trojan fan, we have to have trust in this process. We need to believe in these guys and what they're doing. These coaches are up all night, man, scheming and trying to think of ways to make a better life for these young men. And we're going to, we just got to continue to have faith, support our team, continue to be diehard Trojan fans the way we are. And another thing out there for all you listeners out there, it takes 2.1 seconds to put your hand, hit that subscribe button, and support both of these gentlemen here. All right. Anyway, man, I'm going to get back at it. You guys take care and fight on, folks.
Paulie, hang on before you go. I'm not letting you out of here that quick. Paulie, when are you launching your new channel? Because I mean, I tell you what, I'll bet you instantly you're gonna have a bunch of people getting up there because, like, oh, he got out. I'm gonna get you, Paulie. Man. I'm gonna get you, Paulie. Listen, that's just another another great one.
Fantastic pre-game speeches right there from Paulie Walnuts, man. That's beautiful.
Well, he's gonna have his channel, and I know he's gonna have a lot of fans. And by the way, if you want to know what Eric Gentry says here to my camera, you're gonna have to go over to the channel. Because he just kind of let you know how much what he thinks of Texas. I guess I'll give you that hint right there. Okay, what his thoughts on there was you guys? Did you notice? I don't know on the TV copy. You guys, I know if you were at the game, you saw it. There was a lot of chippy. It wasn't as much pushing, shoving you see in a lot of our games, but there was a lot of trash talking going on in this game. A lot of it back and forth, and It was good fun. Also, the chat, you guys. If anyone here, I mean, I'm trying to. I've asked a bit late, and I should have asked one of the guys on the team. But dude, there was this funny moment when they're up on the stage, and even before, if you watch this video early on, when they first see Jacoby come over, they start saying "show up," right? They're doing that kind of thing. I'm dying to find out that I don't know what it was. Also, you see right here, like he starts to say, he looks over at Lincoln Riley. I wonder if it was a Lincoln Riley thing that the kids are kind of pulling his leg about. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they're right there. They're laughing about it. They start the guys in the crowd start. He looks over to coach and they give like the okay to do it. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what was going on with that whole show up thing. But anyway, hi caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
John from Glendora. I'm calling in. This is my second time calling. I called a couple weeks ago when Maeva took over the starting job. Yes, sir. What's on your mind? I just felt like the season as a whole was a little bit the highs and lows, I would say. I mean, we came from Vegas. I thought we were going to be in the playoffs the way we played in Vegas. And then we come back to beating the Las Vegas Bowl. I just find it very, very amusing when other players start transferring out of like the 19 transfers. To me, it just seems like kind of a fire sale at a certain point. But realistically, it looks like the reason why they're leaving is because, I mean, if we look at the receiver spot, I mean, Lemon and Lane, that's just a great combo. Maeva did take some big steps in the second half, what we saw in that game. The offensive line is better than we probably think. I think they could add a few more depth pieces, and that'll be secure. And same thing at the receiver spot. But, I mean, overall, the season as a whole, I mean, I go to every single home game. I went to the Bruin game. I went to the Vegas game. I just felt like it was a good season. Not what we expect as SC fans or SC in general. But, I mean, you just got to kind of new conference, I would say. But we just got to kind of hang on. I think Riley's going to turn this ship around. I think it looks pretty good right now with big bodies coming in. I'm really excited for next year. Not trying to get my hopes up too high.
No, there's a lot. I think you just said it perfectly, really. I mean, Preston, a little mix of both, right? Optimism and some concern. But listen, you don't want to be some kind of pumper. It's constantly, yes, USC is the best. USC is this. Jaden Maeva is going to be great. This, that. You don't want to be that because that's just boring. And you don't want to be the flip side. You don't want to be like the sky's falling. The world's horrible. USC sucks. I hate USC. I'm not going to do it. The truth lies in being a fan is somewhere in between. And why in life? I mean, I just lean to the positive. I just lean. My blood type's B positive, right? I got B positive pumping out of my heart every 5 seconds. So I mean, you know that USC has some problems, but they're not unsurmountable. And I'm going back to the previous call with Suka. No, sorry, maybe it was Paulie. They brought up it was Paulie, the running back room, with Amarian Peterson, and we saw what Brian Jasking do. It seems like they're, with Wormley, Dalton, and Sanders coming in, so just nice, just really complimentary pieces. I like, you guys, look at how they're shaping this roster. Don't look at guys individually. Look at the picture of this roster. And if you're looking into 2025, Preston, there are a lot of young, really shiny toys we have, but there's some developed talent now that we're seeing on both lines. Do not, don't go all crazy about Jakeem Stewart. Remember about Jide Abasiri, Devin Tompkins, right? Remember those guys. You were all going to get really excited by Gus Cordova coming in, but remember Braylon and Cameron Fountain, really. But some people are already sleeping on Shelby. I mean, it's like, you guys, we have this mix of young and old. And remember, Anthony Lucas is coming back. Then I'm not getting started on the offensive line, Preston, but you have to look at the entirety of the roster. There's a lot to get excited about.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, and the one thing that I took away from John too is, like, he said new conference. And like, hey, the thing I love the most about last night is us running the ball 28 times. Like that was beautiful. And this team, man, credit to Lincoln Riley. We've all been, critical of Lincoln Riley. I've been critical of Lincoln Riley. Whoever's over there on that staff, they're instilling some type of never quit mentality with this team, because this team did not quit in any game this year. Whether it's Dan Lynn, whether it's Eric Henderson, Lincoln Riley, they're doing a job. They did a good job this year. Giving our guys the mentality to fight and push through adversity, and we've done it all year. So looking forward to what they see.
Yeah.
Anything else, Sean?
I think other things. Yeah, I think the other thing is really to look at guys is I'm a big Trojan fan. I'm gonna go support the guys. I'm gonna go to the games. It's always to me, it's always the guys that nag or the ones that don't show up to games or barely watch anything, that doesn't even know the team, that only sees the wins and losses. They don't see the reality of the team coming together. It takes a lot. I'm just saying it, like, to build a team. When Lincoln Riley came in to build a team, to build a culture, it takes a lot. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, Pete Carroll, he hit lightning on the bottle. There was no pro teams here. There was no energy. The Dodgers were down. The Lakers were down. Kings were down. And he just, once they started winning, everybody graduated to it. So, I mean, now there's so many more things for Lincoln to overcome. But realistically, I think I think it's churning. And you can see, like, the development of a lot of these guys where they're playing like a unit. They're playing better defense. I mean, how many times they stopped somebody on 3rd and 1 this year compared to the last 5 seasons? It's night and day. I mean, this is the 3rd and 1 that they make the stop on the quarterback taking a dive. 5 years ago, the guy's in the end zone on that dive play. I mean, that's just how bad it was. Now you see that. It's just, you can see it churning. And I think Lincoln Riley's doing a good enough job to get guys in to fill those voids. I'm not critical of him. I think, yes, he makes mistakes, but that's every coach in America going to make mistakes. Just because he's paid $10 million, everybody's like, oh, my God, he should win a national championship every year. It doesn't work that way. I mean, look, Nick Saban stopped coaching because of NIL. Let's be realistic. It's a hard thing to navigate. We're going to find a way. We're building amongst it. We're just not throwing money to any single player, which is smart, because they're also going to end up with a lot of, I don't want to say it, I hate saying it, but a lot of Bear Alexanders, where he just doesn't live up to the hype. I mean, that's my call tonight, guys. I thank you guys for taking my call, and have a great night. And fight on.
Thank you for calling. Hold on. Yeah, you guys don't thank us. That's a great call. Hey, listen, don't thank us for taking your call, for God's sake. Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling in. That's what it's all about. We love you. We love you guys being here and expressing. That's just, again, I'm not kidding. That's what this show's about. It's about you guys. It's not about me talking. Now, I'd like to make a show about Preston. I'm trying to get Preston where he and I just have a show where we just talk back and forth, because you guys, if you haven't checked out Preston's Paradise on Preston's personal channel or his Twitter, I just don't understand what you're doing. Please get over there and check out all of his stuff. He's putting, I mean, you're getting pretty close to a daily video, right, Preston? I mean, I think you're getting
close every couple of days. Yeah, for sure.
And they're just solid. I mean, you got to reward the grind and the talent and the information he gives you. You can make all your friends think you know what you're talking about. Just go watch Preston. You know, watch the whole video. Just watch 20 minutes. You know, not 20 minutes. I'm sorry, like 20% of it, and then, you know, because he wants you to watch the whole thing. But even 20 minutes, 20% of it. If you go ahead and listen to his stuff and you listen to Gabe's stuff, right? And you go around the USC football community, you're going to be able to sit there at the water cooler and actually know what you're talking about. I guess I'm preaching to the choir, because the people in this chat, I can see you guys out there, and the people that call in, you guys all know your stuff. I appreciate you guys all being here. But Preston, we got to get you to toot your horn more often, because that channel, you guys, his channel is blowing up faster than any channel I've seen start here in the USC space. So make sure you get on, get there, and be one of his early followers, and make sure you subscribe and tell all your friends about his channel. All right. All right, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening. It's me. It's Avery. I'm calling from South Carolina as I walk into the hotel room. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, Avery? How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm ready. You know, I'm calling to talk to you, and I'm ready to get it going. What's up, Preston? How you doing?
What's going on, Avery? How you doing, man?
I'm ready to chat it up. Y'all ready to chat it up?
Yeah, let's go. What do you got for us?
I mean, definitely excited that we got the win. I'm gonna be very upfront with you. I thought the off time would be beneficial as it was last year with the Louisville game, and in return, we got the results that we needed, and it seemed like the team was in a different headspace, etc. Right? Having said that, these are some of my highlights that, you know, I got some questions or I just want to figure it out. Starting with player utilization. all year I've been screaming that, we might have been hamstrung at certain areas for lack of, et cetera, et cetera. So why weren't 6 and 8 focal points of the offense all season? Like, I don't get it, right? That's neither here or there. The O-line did look better. I can give credit where it's due. I have definitely been one that has been riding them like Seabiscuit all year. The immediate installment of the young man that came in and backed up Page, very, very admirable on his end to step in and be able to step in and play. But that begs the question, if he's good enough to play left tackle at the spur of the moment, why in the hell was he not playing right tackle all season? But we're not going to go there. We're not going to do that. The quarterback room. Oh, man, I like 14. There are times where I think I see the Hawaiian Sam Darnold or the Polynesian Sam Darnold back there. And then there are times where, man, I wonder what's really going on back there. And lastly, B. Jackson. B. Jackson brings me back to my favorite Trojan that didn't get a lot of playing, which was Darwin Barlow. There's something to be said about a guy that runs behind the pads and is physical at the point of contact and continues to run after he is hit. That sets a tone for the team, that embodies the team, and it seemed like the team follows behind that style of running. And I wish Lincoln get back to it. But having said that, those are some of the highlights that I want to talk about tonight, or just throw out there. And I am still, I am one of his biggest critics, but I do see the incremental changes. But hey, this ain't Oklahoma, baby. This is where we fight on it. So what's up?
Good call.
Yeah.
But there's a name for you and me, Avery. You know what it is? It's always easy to have the answer after the game or after the season. It's not as hard to have it. And it's not the day of the game. It's the weeks leading up to it to get the guy ready to get him into the game. I hear a lot what you're saying, and it's kind of hard to argue, but it's kind of like the same people that said Jaden Maiava should have been playing the game 1. We'd be undefeated right now. One, we don't know that, right? 2, again, I watched the second half, and although we lost that, I keep pointing to it. People are saying that Miller Moss wasn't able to. Some guy was in my DM saying that, but Miller Moss can't finish. Did you guys watch the LSU game? Did you guys watch the Michigan game? I mean, we lost the Michigan game, but it wasn't because of anything that Miller did. It's hard to look back on a season and say ifs and buts because we don't know where they were in week 5, week 6. Sometimes these are young people, and again, I'm a teacher, so I know sometimes that light bulb goes on, and that's literally what it takes. And that's probably all it will take for Jaden to take that next step. It's just what Paulie said about him, the moxie, the smile, the way he carries himself, but also you hear one theme from his teammates. They keep saying he's really hard on himself. He's got to be that guy that you have to forget that last play. He's got to get up there and be there for your team and get going. And with the poise thing with the quarterback, that comes with time. And maybe Riley did see that. Do you want to put a young man out there that's not too confident and put him out without offensive line? By the way, the offensive line is getting better. It's been getting better the entire season. Do we want to throw a younger quarterback? Because Miller, as much as he didn't have a lot of playing time, he'd been in college football for a while, and he was very confident. One of the biggest strengths that Miller had was he's at, I know we have no offensive line here. Hold my beer. I'm gonna go out there and try to win the game for us. He was that guy. And I think it did start to rattle him after 9 games of getting his bell rung every single game. It did kind of start to get to him. But for a good solid portion of that season, he was right there with it. Do you want to put a young Jaden Maiava and possibly wreck his football career because you can lose that confidence as a quarterback? You get out there and you just get rattled a couple of times. I think there's a couple of quarterbacks in USC's recent history that had that same situation. Or maybe I wanted Sam Darnold going first, but you go roll poor Max out there to get his crap kicked out of him from Alabama. Who knows what happens if Sam's in that first game and he's getting, launched around as the starting quarterback. I know he came in later, but I mean, early on. So there's a lot more nuance to it, I think, than what we're saying. With a young lineman like Justin Ta'anu, I'm going to get the pronunciation on that proper. I'm not sure exactly how we do it, but that's my guess. God, I should have by now. But anyway, I just hear so many different ways. It's not that I'm not trying to figure it out. It's just I hear everyone I swear I hear say his name says it differently. So, but But yeah, looking at game 13 and saying, why weren't they in game 5? Well, maybe they weren't ready in game 5. So, I mean, I'm going to believe that, that Josh Henson, before he left, that Lincoln Riley looking at quarterbacks, they know what they're talking about. And listen, Avery, without you and me and people like you and me that want to question things and think outside the box and be willing to take a stray here or there because we're willing to be a bit different. You know what I mean? That's what I love about you, Avery. We don't always agree. But what I like about you is you don't play it safe. You know what I mean? You're going to say what you know football, you're watching the game and you speak your mind. And again, for always, dude, like for anyone like that, dude, I'm just like, yes, we need more of you. Not to that want to just toe the line and be all excited about everything. That's boring. And it's really not, it's not really much thought into it. So I guess my long way, if I shorten it down, let's trust the coaches a little more. Let's give them crap when things aren't working, because that's what you need to do, right? But it's more than just a game day decision. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is just a preparation time, getting the guys ready, making that choice early on in camp, and saying this is the guy we're going to ride. But yeah, I mean, the tackle situation has been one that's been head scratcher. But listen, instead of looking backwards, let's look forward. And looking forward, I think we have 3 solid tackles to really look forward to. And again, I'm excited about the fact that I knew there was something special in that group. And we haven't seen Hayden Treater yet. We haven't seen Micah Banuelos yet. Micah Banuelos is probably going to be your guard, if Pregnon was not coming back. A source very, 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 very close to the story let me know that one. So I mean, let's just wait and trust in the coaching until the coaches, by the way, let us down. I'm telling you, there have been some mistakes made, Preston, but overall, I've been very, very happy with this coaching staff on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I'll tackle like some offensive line stuff. I mean, I was willing to switch up that right tackle spot after that Washington game. Really with the Tobias Raymond.
Yeah.
Now in the game on Friday night, the right side of the line, I noticed some issues on the right side of the line. I think Justin Tanu would look fantastic at that right tackle spot, but we're just gonna have to see what happens with that. And in regards to the wide receivers, I think the regular season was really kind of the trial run with these guys. I mean, you have 1, 2, 6, and 8, and at the end of the year, 6 and 8 were the most dependable, most reliable, and most consistent. And 1 and 2 were out the door. So I think that's really the story on that.
Yeah, and you can see the talent that 1 and 2 have, and one day they're gonna get. They're there. Then once they get their game down, and they will be great. And I understand why the staff wanted to keep giving them opportunities, because they do have greatness written all over them. But when it comes to production, you're right. It was a situation where week in and week out, when you look at the guys that you need something to get done. It just seemed like Jacoby Lane was a guy, especially coming on late. I mean, he had 7 touchdowns in the last 3 games, and then Mekhi Lemon just all season long. I mean, the kickoff returns are getting that hurdle, you guys. The hurdle. I was trying to look for the video of that hurdle, but the one thing I hate about Allegiant is they shoot off the fire in the beginning of the game, and then that haze just sits there the whole time. And it really plays havoc with a lot of your camera equipment. So you got to do a lot of stuff in post to get rid of that haze. But I'll have it up, and which reminds me, you guys. So if you guys did enjoy the little teaser, I had this going in the background. If you guys want to hear the guys just cheering on there, it was really, really a nice little ability to be there and hear from the players. Just even this moment when Jacoby's up there, you're all cheering Jacoby on and giving him a hard time. Make sure you get over to my little side channel. I'll drop that in the chat in a little bit, but I'm going to be putting stuff. I got a bunch of stuff from the season and from the Las Vegas Bowl that I'll be throwing in there. But again, the main stuff here, the shows, live shows, all stuff, all gonna be here. But all the spillover stuff that I do with photography and videography could be over on that side channel, and hopefully it'll pay for itself at some point, so I can start paying myself back for all this video equipment. All right, now the commercial's over. You guys, make sure if you're enjoying the show, please, the best thing you can do for us is hit that like button and subscribe so that when we go live, we will be popping up live. Randomly, like we've done throughout the entire season. The off season, remember, you guys, there is really no off season. You're gonna have a lot of situations where people are gonna be leaving, people will be coming. As people come, people will leave. So between now and August, this roster it's gonna look different. It's gonna look different. And when news breaks, we will let you know. Avery, anything else for us?
No, man. That's those were the things I wanted to roll out. I mean, as you know, I'm holding Lincoln to the fire, and I ultimately feel like when he gets out of his way, that's really been my biggest thing, right? I really, when I thought about what I want to talk to you about on the next time that we have the opportunity to interact with each other, my biggest thing with Lincoln and those that have taken the job the last couple of years is the window and the opportunity has been there. It's just been a carpe diem, right? Seize the day, seize the moment. And it's one of those situations where I also feel as if most have had their ego, their pride, and their specific prowess in the way where they haven't allowed the mistakes of those before them to be the things that don't trip them up, and as well as the landmines and the current situations. And that's why I've been on Lincoln like that, man. Like I do feel like he brings a unique skill set that is advantageous for the organization, for the university. But having said that, hey man, this isn't, as I keep telling you, this ain't Oklahoma, this ain't Western Kentucky. Like we need you to be making the specific adjustments, and we need you current, right? I don't need you to be the trendsetter, because when you take care of business at USC, that means you are setting the trends. So just need them to take care of business, and I'm gonna hold them accountable. That's just what it is.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
no one gets a free pass. I think people have been overly critical. I think people are missing maybe the bigger picture. I think people don't realize this was never going to be. I don't mean the rebuild. I don't remember like where I'm not saying where we should be in this process. Okay, please hear me. C was all in. Okay, they showed it in the fact that they're willing to pay well over $100 million for a coach for a long period of time. They're in it because they're getting state-of-the-art facilities, football only state-of-the-art facilities. You know, they tore down a holy place on the campus, Dado Field, in order to make room to have a football facility. They are all in on Lincoln Riley and this program, and they're showing that in what they're doing with the defensive coaching staff, retaining coaches on the offensive side of the ball that are proven. And I think that I have no problem with anybody saying, hey, we're paying a lot of money and you're not giving me the progress I deserve. Because quite frankly, I would hope that the coaching staff would agree with this as well. USC should never be 7-5. 7-6. USC should never have 5-6 losses in the loss column. It just shouldn't happen. But that being said, it was a weird time at USC. This is a weird time for a lot of programs, and the programs in college football that have been successful were the ones that I think met this in a professional manner in a new way. And I think USC was still kind of old guard and doing things the old way and trying to, instead of bringing in, like, I hate saying it, but the quacks got it right with Nike, their affiliation with corporate and marketing and just the way they went about their business. They were out ahead of USC. That hurt. And I think USC now is having a slow ripple effect, but they're coming out of that. And then one last thing, and I hope this is the last time I ever to say this. Do you guys remember the roster when Lincoln Riley took over? You could bring in a Caleb Williams.
Absolutely.
You know,
You're right.
you could bring in Addison in year one and go, wham, we have a dynamic passing attack. But what you can't do is build the trenches. What you can't do is if you're Lincoln Riley and you've made a mistake and you inherited Mike Stoops, and then he had Alex Grinch, and they held on Alex Grinch. He thought maybe different when he came over, and they hung on for a year longer, and that's when the fan base got a little upset and got crazy, and rightfully so, because I think it's the big stain so far, and I think we're still feeling the effects of that. So, but let's look past that. Let's look at this roster and really look at year 2 in the Big Ten, and hopefully we show out and show people what USC is about.
I respect it. Hey, and you just let me know something too. You're a teacher. So
yeah.
you and my dad got to meet each other, because my dad also is a teacher. I mean, I want to come back with a counter argument just to be Avery, and I'm not even going to do that with you now. I'm glad to talk to you, and I'm glad I was able to come out and lay out some of those points. And I hope everything continues to go in the upward direction as far as trajectory for the team. And Really, I'm ready for the spring now. You know, I want to see how we fill out the roster, and I'm ready for the spring and development, right?
Absolutely. And we could be friends, Avery. I mean, it's good for the show. It's good for the show that we go to each other. It's good for the show, but we could be friends.
Lastly, Mike Matthews just hit the portal. We need that guy. That's a Georgia boy. We need Mike Matthews.
That's a receiver, right? Is that the guy that we were in?
Man.
That's that big receiver we were in for, right? Is that correct? In the last cycle?
So a little bit of recruiting. He comes from a prestigious school, Parkview, Jeff Francoeur, Brad Lester. But that area has changed over the last couple of years. And Grayson and Buford are the schools that we're recruiting. So back in the day, Parkview used to be that school. But yeah, Parkview, and Mike Matthews, we need that guy. We need that guy.
Yeah, I know. Staff was big on him, and he was big on SC. I think we were second choice. You know, we just missed out on it, and that's when we were doing NIL a little differently back then. So let's just. Talk
about a compliment. That's a compliment to 8 and 6. That's the compliment. Lincoln. I'd be sold on that one right there.
And then we go back to the situation where we have to put Simmons in. We just got to keep all those elite athletes all happy in one room, but. I guess that's what you get paid for being a position coach. But that great. Thank you so much for that, Avery.
Thank you, man.
Good call, man.
Fight on, man. Fight on. Good to talk to you too, Preston, man.
All right, fight on, brother.
All right. So speaking of Preston, make sure you guys get over to Preston's Paradise. Check it out. His channel. It is blowing up. It's the fastest growing channel I've seen in this space. I'm not kidding. Just because he's my friend doesn't mean that's exactly how it is. I've been around for a while watching the USC space. And sure, we have some really big channels around, but his channel is special. And obviously you've seen in the show why it's special. Make sure you're good over there. Make sure you're subbing up to him. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Just all the little things that help us out. And if you want to throw a couple bucks his way, when he's monetized, throw a couple bucks his way. So appreciate everyone being here. Hi, caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Craig from New York City. What's up, Tim?
Craig, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm all right. How you guys doing, huh?
We're good. Great win on Saturday. Great win. Nothing can be better than that.
Yeah, it was close win. Good win. I'll take it.
It's a win.
I was just calling the
right.
I was just. Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. No, I was just calling to say, I'm happy. I'm finally happy, and I'm happy at the last game because I would have hated to been sad, going into the off season. So I'm happy because I seen the team and I see a lot of Sunday guys finally. Like I was worried, like, yo, where's the talent? And I don't know, maybe it was who we were playing that they just look so good. I'm just trying to figure out, like, or maybe we're finally developing and getting our guys to looking like we got some real Sunday talent. Like, I love our running back. I love our offensive line. I love all of them. I think they all played great. I'm comfortable with what we got there. I love our two receivers. Like, Lane, he looks like a day one guy, man. I don't know. He looked unstoppable. My only problem is like at quarterback, and I feel like that's been our problem all year. And I don't know, that guy, he looks good sometimes, and other times he makes one jump off a building. Like I don't know, like, but I feel like if he can keep developing and having a short memory and like being able to finish games, how he finished this game. Because, like, with how he's been throwing the ball, right? And if you looked at him last year in his other team and how he plays erratically, and if Lincoln can go out there and get him to forget about it and then throw a game-winning touchdown, then I'd love to see what Lincoln could do with a five-star quarterback out of California. So if that's the case, right, I'm excited for the future because I feel like if Lincoln can get the best out of him, who knows what he could get out of, a five-star guy. So that being said, man, I'm happy. I'm happy we got a win. I think if everybody looked at the game, we got a lot of Sunday players and finally on offense, like I finally feel like the offense is clicking. Like we got those guys who are getting too many targets and not doing nothing with the ball out of the program. We got a real Big Ten running back. Our offensive line is finally gelling, so I feel like we're ready to take that next step. And I just want to say this too, like, I feel like fans, we got to have real expectations when it comes to what we expect, wins and losses. Like guys, we're not going to win a national championship next year. So, like, if we could just, be realistic in our expectations, like, if we can win every game that we're supposed to win, like if we don't lose to any Minnesotas this year or any Marylands, and we can win a close game against a Penn State, like those kind of games, we can be in the playoffs next year, So I think if we can get in the playoffs next year and, just have one or two losses, and get in the playoffs, I'll take that as a win.
See, I really agree with most of what you said until you said that we can't win a national championship next year. And here's what I'm going to say. That one, I'll put our coaching staff up against anybody in the country. Coaching is a big part. So excellent. But now we go to the Jimmy's and Joe's. And really where we're hurting is all those games we lost to. Look at the teams that are in the playoffs. Penn State. We had Penn State on the ropes. And we really had them on the ropes. And we lost late. Why? Interior defensive depth. I honestly believe that. With Michigan, we had them on the ropes, on the road in Ann Arbor. Yes, they weren't a great team, but they're a solid team. They beat Ohio State. We had them in their house, at the big house, and we were in that game to the very end. And our defense had been playing lights out, got tired at the end, missed some tackles they probably make normally in a game. We lost that game. And when we talk about Maryland and Minnesota, we don't lose those games if we have some depth on the defense. So my point is we have made the changes. If there's one big, gigantic question mark on this team right now, it's quarterback. And we don't know. We don't know if Jaden's going to make that next step. Jaden, like I said, that switch could flip. And who knows? Longstreet just is precocious and picks up the offense really quick and just is lights out. And maybe Jaden falters, and all of a sudden he's the guy. I don't want to in December. I just don't think, Craig, I'm with you. I hear you. I think we shouldn't be unrealistic, but like maybe this year, thinking we're in a national championship this year. I said 9-3, but next year I wouldn't put any limits on this team. I wouldn't, because look at what's been going on in college football. Look at last year's. Look at last year. Look at this year. I don't see a lot of 2019 LSU's anymore. 2016 Alabama's, 2004 USC's, 2001 Miami's. 95 Huskers. I don't see the massively dominant teams like, oh yeah, they're gonna win. Roll the ball out there. Forget it. Just let's see if we can keep it within 20. There aren't any of those teams out there. So I think we'll know a lot more. This, probably once we get to August, in fall camp, we'll know what the rosters look like. But let's at the same time, let's not be overly optimistic. Let's not be pessimistic either. Let's get out of it. This is not USC football. 5 to 6 losses. I'll tell you what. Clip this, because I'm probably going to come at me next year. But I feel so confident I'm going to say it. We are not losing 4, 5, 6 games next year. Not with that schedule. And not with the pieces we have on defense, with Denton Lynn as our coordinator. I think a lot's been lost on that. Dude, I wonder, did anyone get the total? Did we get over 30? Did we end up scoring over 30 per game? Because what we get 35. How many points did we score? What did we get?
Overall,
35, 31. I want to see if we got, because that was imagined. I want to see if we get over 30.
29.
It's 29 with my album for sure.
29.
It was 29 and change before that game, but I wonder how much a 13th game could have. Anyway, I just think with our scoring ability, we know one thing: Mayaba's going to have the entire spring and fall to and the PRPs. He's gonna get on page with a lot of those receivers. He didn't do a lot of those. He got some of, but he's going to get a lot of time to work with those receivers. Some of those plays, the Notre Dame especially. They just weren't on the same page. This game, it seemed like mechanics, and he was just not, I don't know what it was. He just was overthrowing guys on a couple of throws, just sailing on them. But in the Notre Dame game, really the major issue in that game it seemed like he just wasn't on the same page as some of the receivers. That's going to come with time, and even things like player run practices, in the winter and going into spring ball and then fall camp. He's going to get all that stuff underneath him. And I would not, yes, it's not ideal to have a freshman quarterback. They did run the most sophisticated offense at Corona Centennial, but let's not limit this team. Let's not limit any players. Let's not limit Jaden. Let's not limit, Husan Longstreet. Let's go into this thing saying, okay, we got a lot of the pieces we need. And although no one wants to hear we're one play away here, one play away there, 3 plays from this and that, we were a couple players away, and it looks like we have that depth in those players now. Anyone wants to call, there's the number. Right? Oh, actually, we can't. We got to get Preston out here. It's the middle of the night for him. But you call me next time. I'll argue with you all day long that we have the pieces. God, look at the defensive guys. 1 year, what's difference has been in the defensive line? Think about next year. This probably, I don't know. I'm probably way off. But your 2 deep is going to be like Anthony Lucas and Braylon Shelby, Keyshawn Silver, and I don't know, Rotmana or Kobe or Carlin or Jamal. And then you have Jakeem Stewart and Floyd McCard and G.A. Basiri probably fight, and Devin Tompkins fighting. You got Cameron Fountain and Gus Cordova. Dude, the 2 deep, I think, is going to be so insane on this team, the defensive line. We're not, and it's not 2, it's 3-4 deep at some positions. I think we're going to have some question marks, but I like Isaiah Rubin and Marcellus Williams, DJ Harvey coming in and Braylon Conley. I can't wait. And then super young guys like Treston Castro. I don't know what to say to you guys. We have so much deep depth at safety that the nickel and the safety position are going to be the fact that Kamari's coming back, Eric's coming back, EG's coming back. We don't know how amazing that is. I think Desmond Stephen was a steal last year of the entire recruiting period. Elijah Newby coming up, the young guys like Tagoai and Jaden Walker. The defense, you guys, with Lynn, someone said it earlier in the show. I can't remember who it was, Preston, but all those pieces, and you get to give all those toys to Danton Lynn and what he's been able to do at UCLA, at USC with some outstanding players, but no depth is truly remarkable. All right. Yeah. Well, we're gonna need to get out. We have one more call, Avery. I hate to cut you. I'm sorry, Craig. Craig. Sorry, dude, it's late. It's late, Craig. Sorry. I hate to cut you short, but we do got to get. It's Preston's. I do this to Preston every time, man. He's 3 hours ahead of us, and he's got work early in the morning, so we got to get him out of here. But any quick final thought, because we're after midnight for him.
Yeah, I'll just say I hear you. I think, like you said, we got a good depth everywhere. I'm just scared at quarterback, man. I hope an off season can change, his DNA. But other than that, man, hopefully maybe somebody has a transfer, maybe we'll get lucky. Other than that, I hope he doesn't lose us any games next year, man. I think I hope he gets,
I think you're on it, and I think that everyone should have question marks about it. But if we could just get rid of have him eat some throws, throw the ball away, live for another day. And that comes with time, that poise I'm talking about, he has the moxie. He has to get up, smile, let's go, boys. He gets himself down, but then he's ready to go back out there and go because guys get him up again. I think he has a lot of the intangibles. But I do. I think he needs to work on the just reading the defenses. Know when there's a guy's coming hot. He has to be aware of situations where he just got to get that clock shortened a little bit, get rid of the ball. Those things come with time, and those will come with coaching. And if we're going to sit here and say that Lincoln Riley is one of the best quarterback coaches, and Luke Heward is one of the best coaches out there, then we have to believe in that process, and that process is real. And I think we're going to see it this year. Just got to bring up some of those big bad mistakes. You can't have any killers. We had too many of them from both of our quarterbacks this year. This team was on a razor line. I think with this depth and talent, we won't have as many of those tight games where an interception here or there is going to cost you a game. I think that's also going to be part of the scenario. But listen, thank you so much. I'm talking. I got Preston saying, Tim, dude, you just said it was past midnight. All right, thank you so much. We'll catch you next time. Thank you, Craig.
Appreciate it, man. Right on, man.
Right on.
Yeah, I don't think you guys realize that. I always put Preston in a bad spot. He's got to be up early tomorrow
It's
morning.
not about me, man. It is what it is, man.
No, well, I apologize. I truly personally apologize to you. So we're gonna make this one really quick. Again, I'm the guy who always says, "Luke, we'll never hurry you up." But I'm sorry, caller. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from? And if we could do the express route on this one, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, we're gonna do it on it. I got it because it's late for me too. This is John from Detroit. What's going on, Tim?
Hey, John. Good. I know you love the game.
Yeah. Also, giving a shout out to Preston too. It's the first time I've been on since he's been on. I just want to say that I didn't know what to expect last night, man. I mean, on a Friday night, I had no idea because I was worried about the offensive line. In my opinion, I think that also had a lot to do with Jaden's. Seemed like a little hesitant, I think in the first half. Got it together really kind of late, but he got it together. And I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and get off. It's USC fans kind of up and down, with our emotions and stuff. But we got to realize and understand, NIL, it's a whole different thing. The one thing that I think that needs to be put in play is, man, and I think I told you this a couple of weeks ago, we gotta recruit the players from California. I'm sorry. I go back to McKay, also with Pete Carroll. We making this a lot harder than what it should be. And I get it. We got to adjust with the NIL. But somehow, and don't get me wrong, you can't get every player from California. California don't produce a whole lot of linemen like they do in the South and maybe somewhere in the Midwest. But certain ones you got to keep. You have to keep these people at home. Until you do that, it's going to be a little hard. It's going to be a little rough, man. That's just the way I see it, because, if you look at the Florida schools, the reason why they were down for so long is because it wasn't so much they didn't have good ball players. The difference makers was leaving. We can't allow different makers to leave. Okay, different makers change games. Okay, you saw what Michigan did. They got the number one quarterback. Okay, he was going to LSU, and everybody kept screaming, "You got to get a kid. You can't let that kid get out."
Yeah,
that's a difference maker. When we figure that part out, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay because the thing about it is, people here, Michigan, you guys not ready. Oh no, we can play in the Big Ten. We just didn't have enough bodies. That's all. We didn't have enough bodies. We have enough bodies. We're going to be okay. But that starts with, again, I still say, we got to keep our homegrown talent at home. That's just the way I see it, fellas. I'm out.
Well, listen, John.
I'm out.
Sorry to rush you along, John. I appreciate it. Thank you for calling back. Yeah, I'm glad you called back in. Sorry, I could have got you a little bit earlier, but yeah, good point. Keeping guys local. You got Shamiron Baker, Tron Baker, right up here, like literally right up the street from you at Los Alamitos. Bosco guy, Josh Holland, local guy. Madden Rayard. Okay, guys, this guy's legit. I don't know. This is what makes me wonder about like star rankings. Every year you got this guy that just makes complete zero sense on where they're ranked. They got the jewels of the class, RJ Sermons. I had a good vibe on him going back all the way to summer about, that he was going to be a Trojan. Brandon Lockhart's been, a guy here. So we got some serious talent coming in on the defensive side of the ball, along with Tron, as a receiver, that are local guys. And I think, you said really quickly, and I know, Preston, we got to move, but I think you can I think there are enough quality linemen here in California. If you got the best guys in California, you're going to be okay. Sure. If you had the Pete Carroll rule, right? Get the guys here in California and then get the number one draft picks out there throughout the country. And you'd go out and do that. USC and Southern California and California in general has those dudes. Look, they're all over the SEC and the Big Ten, the modern day guys, Corona Centennial guys, they're just guys from Sarah, all over Olu. They're there. If we can lock them down, we're going to be okay. We get one of my Bosco guys to go there too. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I agree 100% with John, and I think the more you win, the easier it's going to be to keep these kids in California. So it's definitely a two-way street. But just the more success we have on the field, it's easier to keep these guys. There's no reason why we should see kids from Compton, California, on Georgia or or in Alabama, it's disgusting to see. So hopefully we can make that change in the future.
Suka's get mad if we keep getting city league kids getting all over the place, going up north, going up to the south. But yeah, and a part of that, again, I've talked about it million times on this show. I don't know. I haven't talked to any coaches about it, but it makes total sense. You come in here, these kids have relationships with all of the other coaches. They're coming in late into a situation, coming in late into a cycle, and trying to steal them away from schools that are winning, like Oregon, and they're throwing big bags like Oregon and Ohio State. And it's a tough sell because those coaches already have inroads at the local high schools. I think now the defense has a year. The offensive coaches have like 3 years. Those excuses need to go out the window. We need to be going head to head with all these guys. And again, I think you're seeing it with the 2026 class. But John, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Yeah, love you calling in anytime, man. One of our longtime callers. Thank you, John.
Okay.
Right on. All right, we have. Okay, Preston, I'm leaving this one up to you. We got one more call. Do you want me to take it off there, or do you want to grab it really quick?
You can't tell me that, man. Take the call, man.
All right. We gotta stop taking. Okay, this is it.
If this is the last call, shut it down after this.
Yeah. Well, I can't, unfortunately. If you call in after this, I won't guarantee it. I can't. I should have shut it down. Someone just called. No, someone just called. Sorry, caller. We gotta go. But this one, we got you. We got you, caller. Hi. What's your name?
No.
What's your name? Where are you calling from, caller?
Calling from Modesto, California.
What was your name?
Kevin.
Kevin. First time caller. You know, my brother's
Yeah.
name's Kevin, so I know we've never had a Kevin before. Kevin, how's it going?
I'm going good. Hey, I just wanted to tell y'all, super appreciate you guys doing the show. Love listening. All the banter from the good to the bad, but I just want to let y'all know that definitely appreciate your guys' show.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
I mean, you guys have no idea how much that means to Preston. Man, honestly, it does some work, not a lot, because I make Preston. You guys do all the work, but some work goes into it, and just those kind words are.
It's awesome.
It's good. It's good to hear once in a while. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure y'all knew that. Nothing. I'm just excited. I remember earlier in the shows, like a month or two ago, I think after the 6 loss, we were talking about trusting Riley in the process. And I really think, signing Thanos Stewart, Jakeem Stewart was a huge signing. And I think that's just going to I hope it brings some other big names with them.
Oh, yeah, it has to, right? Great wants to play with great. They want to win. And remember, just like in basketball, but that's where you see it a lot. But also in football or even in baseball, if you want to be protected as a batter, right? You want guys next to you. You know what I mean? You don't, like on a defensive lineman. Do you want to be double teamed? No, if you have a guy like Jakeem Stewart next to you, you're going to eat. Why? Because they're going to be double teaming him. So now you're matched up 1-to-1. You got to beat your guy and your payday, right? So yeah, you want to play with great.
And I don't know. Oh, sorry. I was just going to tell you, I don't know. This kid must be that great. So my buddy works down in LA at Universal Studios, and they took him when he was down there. Well, he was there. He didn't get to talk to him, but they took him to Marvel Studios. And I don't know if they did. They must have done something big to get that kid to sign with SC, but I'm happy either way.
Yeah, no, it's a special place. And I'm wondering when things get normalized here, there's a lot of intangibles that have been taken off the table that USC has and Southern California has that other places don't. And I get it. Not everybody wants to be a city kid, but if you do, and I said the big hit everyone takes about California is too expensive. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Well, if you're an elite football player, you got a little bit of money. And if you have that money, where do you want to have $350,000 and no family and no bills? You have $350,000. Do you want to do that in Tuscaloosa, or do you want to do that in California, in Southern California? It's kind of easy call for me. You know, I don't know, but that's just me personally.
So I appreciate you guys taking my call. Like I said, you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. I want to make sure you know that people definitely appreciate y'all, and I hope both you guys have a good night and a good New Year's.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Kevin. And you got a great name on top of it.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we got another one in the books. So yeah, thank you to Kevin. Thank you to John Detroit. Appreciate you calling back. Craig in New York City. We got Avery. We got John, Paulie, Suka, and Brian. You guys were all awesome as always, making our job easy. See, I told you, Preston. I promised you I'd get out of here by midnight. It's only 17 after midnight. Another broken promise. But appreciate you being here, you guys, and make sure you check it out, Preston. I truly mean this. I'm very discerning on what I watch, but the USC space has a number of really great content creators. You guys haven't checked out the Light the Torch guys. They're always retweeting, supporting this show as well. They've got some great content. Carter, you saw Carter in the chat as well. He's also doing great work over for himself. Trojan, Blade, Gabe is always here doing all kinds of things. That card you guys saw earlier, that's his stuff. He's always really generous in this space. He helps out Preston. He helps out a lot of guys in this space. It's a really good place, you guys. So make sure you're getting out there and sharing the love with all of the USC content creators. For the little guys, the big guys over at Rivals, we are SC, and over at 247 Inside Troy. You guys are spoiled. You don't have to spoil your job, but we appreciate all of you guys being here tonight. Please, if you could, before you get out of here, if you've enjoyed anything about the show, make sure you're following Preston. Is it Fight on Preston at Fight on Preston?
Fight on Preston
on
Twitter. Yeah, Fight on Preston on Twitter. Preston's Paradise on YouTube. Trojan Fighter says in chat. I'm from San Diego, California. That's where I was born. That's where I'm from.
Another great San Diego Trojan. That's a lot of great Trojans come out of San Diego. Speaking of, I don't have it up here. By the way, just really quick, one of the alumni that you see, who's on the Rushmore. I don't know if anyone out there knows Marcus Allen, but you should guys give Marcus Allen some love. He is always, our fourth Heisman Trophy winner. He is always at the games. I saw him twice now in Vegas. I see him on the sidelines, Coliseum, and we have a lot of alumni support as well, obviously. But that guy could be a lot of places, and he's always there supporting the Trojans. And I wanted to throw this one up earlier. I did. I don't know this gentleman, but the Hate Bruin guy, he's at everywhere where I go. You see him throughout the country, going out to Michigan, going out, wherever it is, he's going to be there. UCLA, wherever it's going to be, he's going to be there supporting. So appreciate everybody being here tonight. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you could, getting out the door here. We will go live on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern for our typical call-in show. Preston and I, we can knock down a time. We're going to do a live show. So it's going to be a live show. It's not going to be a recorded video. I think those were boring. I always want you guys to be a part of it, but I want to hear more from Preston. I just keep talking, and Preston doesn't get a lot of stuff to share. So I'm always kind of eating all the time. The calls we had, this is your show, so you got to call. But I'm trying to convince Preston to show you guys just what he has, because you guys are gonna be amazed, and you could cut the line and go watch the stuff over on Preston's Paradise. All right. So any words of wisdom for them before we get out of here, Preston?
Nah, man, just everybody, enjoy the time, great into the season, and let's keep it going, man. Hopefully things get better this offseason, and we can just continue to improve as a program and rise.
And you guys make sure you check. And I'm bad at it. If you guys hang out for a minute, I'm throwing the. I can't. I don't know, Gabe, if you could throw it in there. You guys go, link to my channel. I have a lot more videos I'm putting out over there. It's just gonna be the extra stuff. Our shows will always be here, but extra videos, extra fun stuff like this will always be over on the USC channel. And that video is great, not for the horrible shaky video that I put up there, for the audio, hearing the love for each other on this team, and just the way they go, just have the fun with each other. It was something really special to hear. So I hope you guys could check that out on my Trojan Conquest channel here on YouTube. All right, well, we're out of here. Thank you so much. Make sure you check out all the people I named. Thank you also, Rusty. Rusty's always out there retweeting my stuff. Appreciate him on Twitter. Make sure you check out Fight on Rusty on Twitter as well. And Nico, if he got there tonight, I'm not sure if he got here tonight. But appreciate you guys, and we'll see everybody on Wednesday for sure, if not earlier. Fight on. Great win for the Trojans.
Thank you.